The second part of the question is, where do babies come from? And I think you might want to ask your parents. What's up, guys? Back with another Q&A section. Been building them up in the comment wells. I'm here to answer some more. You can always feel free to comment even after this or on this one. Ask me more questions. I'll keep answering questions. But I'm gonna get right into it, starting with Paul Chapman. Can we get a mini Beards of Danger Dan t-shirt? They don't have that yet. I think it would be nice. I'd like to do a photo shoot with that. But we do have some Knuckle Busters gear, and a lot of people have been asking about that as well. Pretty cool. We got some gloves, some stickers, and some new tees. This is the front, that's the back. They're pretty rad. Check it out online. That's my shameless plug for that. Why are you called Danger Dan? And that story goes back a long time. So thanks, Ryan, for asking that question. My personality, I guess, is since being a little kid, I've always been addicted to speed and wanting to go fast, just doing everything 100%. Nate Stinson asks, how old were you when you built your first car? 15 and really inspired. I started when I was about 16. Started getting into cars. I had a truck. It was my first car, and I started taking stuff apart and getting into it, but not too into it. I was really building real cars when I was about 20 years old. I wish I would have got into it younger. I wish I was your age when I started. How did you learn to work on cars, and how long have you been doing it? Like I said, I was about 20 years old when I started on it, so it's been about 12 years. So I've been building cars for 12 years. That was when I got my first drift car. It's been crazy. I had to just take stuff apart and learn the old school way. There's no easy stuff, and I had a group of really good friends that helped me learn, and we just kind of spawned off of each other, just spit ideas back and forth. That's also how I got into fabrication. We didn't have any real shops around us, so I had to just kind of learn myself and read stuff online and late nights and a whole bunch of mistakes, but you just got to stick to it. He also asks, how did you become a part of Hoonigan? I've actually known Brian and Hurt for many years. I knew Hurt before all of this Hoonigan stuff was around. We were drift friends, met online and met up in person, had a blast together, had a good time, and it's just one of those relationships you just keep around because he's a good friend. I was in between jobs and these guys called me in for an interview, and so be it, I'm here. Next, we have Connor King. How did you become such a fab daddy, and what made you want to build race cars? I've been into race cars and stuff pretty much my whole life. I've just loved fast cars and everything, but there were no shops around us. I had to learn everything myself because I just want to be a driver. That's why I do it. That's what I love. I just love driving cars. So I had to learn how to do everything pretty much for my own self. There's no means for me to actually get that done. It's expensive. It was just cheaper if I learned it. I've never stopped doing it. The God Mob asks, why you shave? What do you mean? Chance Rowland asks, how long does it take for you to grow a full beard? It's 24 hours, just like this. Clean shave right to that. Jay Harker 83 asks, I legit want to know what it says on your arm. I've seen the stinger. It looks dope. I couldn't make the words out. It says, I'm never in a hurry. I'm just moving fast. Just one of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite bands. Hurry, I'm just moving fast. Tony Hin asks, how tall is Danger Dan? I'm 5'7". I'm short. I'm not part of the 5'2" crew like Brad always says. I'm 5'7", but I am pretty short. But I can fit and stuff. I'm a race car driver height. It's good stuff. Alberto 1690 asks, how old is Danger Dan? I'm 32 years old. It's kind of old, but still young enough to do quite a few cool things. Judy Leva asks, when do we get a build breakdown of your car? You really want it? I mean, there's not much done. It's just, I got Cosmos racing wheels, ST suspension, and I welded the diff. I bought it in one weekend to go out drifting with Hobo Life. Josh, he's a great dude, part of Keep Drifting Fun. He asked me if I wanted to go drifting one weekend, and I said, yes, I'll go buy a car. And I went and bought that car, welded the diff, and went out drifting. It's amazing, and now it's my daily driver, and I love it. Chair362, two-part question. If you could build one type of vehicle for one purpose, what would it be, as in drift, grip, or off-road, etc.? Really, I'd like all of the above. I don't try and build one purpose-built car. I like to do everything. So I try to do stuff as much as I can for drift and grip, and I've never built an off-road car, so I'd have to say it'd probably be an off-road car because I want to do it. I've not done that yet, so I'm curious to do it. The second part of the question is, where do babies come from? And I think you might want to ask your parents. Not me. Rob Charles asks, Dan the man, what has been your personal favorite car that you've owned? My personal favorite car I still own, it's a 1964 Chevy Biscayne. It is 20 feet long, it's an inch off the ground, it's an inline six, 3 on the tree, it's hard to drive, but I absolutely love it. It's all original, it's really cool. James Derrick asks, how many FD teams have you worked on, and what was the most enjoyable? Which was your favorite car? I enjoyed all the teams. I worked on 2 teams major. One was Power Vehicles and one was Bridges Racing that had actual multiple drivers. I worked with Andrew Gray and Sheng Nian, and those guys were great. I lived in Japan with them. That is my favorite car, was Andy Gray. That car is brilliant. JZX 100 Mark II, absolutely gorgeous. It was really fun to build. I got to do a lot of work in Japan and go through the Tokyo Auto Salon with that. And the Vipers, they're pretty cool too. Dean Carney was great, and James and Peter just kind of fell under that umbrella too, so I got to work hand in hand with them, and they're just all great guys. Couldn't tell you what was my favorite team because I had so much fun with all of them. And Justin asks, what was the worst workplace injury Dan has encountered, and how can I avoid it? I know they don't call you Danger Dan for nothing. I actually got my finger caught in an impact gun going into a wheel, and it pretty much unsheathed all the skin off of my index finger. That was a pretty bad one. You know, my hands were really dirty. I was working on the rear end of a car, and it was gross, and I had to clean it up. So I really had to just bite my lip and just clean it all out and then sheath it back down and glue it together, and I don't even have a scar. It's kind of incredible, but that was one of the worst I've had. And to avoid that, you just pay attention and don't hold the socket while you're using an impact socket. Lesson learned. The viewer formerly known as Prince asks, what's the best part of being Dan? I guess the best part is that my name is easy to make nicknames for, and everybody's made a whole bunch, so you can keep commenting nicknames if you want to. I think it's fun, and just meeting everybody and having a good time. But that's all I had for today. That's all the time I have. I have to get back to another project. Comment below, ask more questions. I'll answer more questions. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching Knucklebusters. I'll see you next time I do a Q&A. And people yelling outside, that's always good.